Thank you, AIOS, for giving us this opportunity to present our work. So, good morning again. So, we have a session which is called multicolor imaging beyond retina. Why we are calling it imaging beyond retina? Because we are discussing not just retinal imaging, but allied imaging also, which involve other posterior segment structures. So, the eminent speakers are, apart from me, are Dr. Ish Nigam, who will be talking about the outer retinal pathologies. Dr. Tanmay Biswas, he is a neuro-ophthalmology specialist who will be talking about the use of multicolor imaging in neuro-ophthalmology diagnosis. And two glaucoma specialists which we have in our program today are Dr. Surajit Sen and Dr. Tamanas Basu, who will be discussing about the nuances of glaucoma diagnostic modality using multicolor imaging. So welcome again. So I'll be talking about viewing the retina in a different light, the inner retina. We do not have any financial disclosures to make. So first, to begin with, what is multicolor imaging? So it is just another way of fundus photography. It is different from color fundus photography. So it's just a new way of fundus photography, and it's not a different it's not a different scanning or anything like that, or not an angiography or not an optical coherence tomography. It's just a fundus photography. But how is it different? It is different because it uses white light. It doesn't use white light, which is used in conventional color fundus photograph. Instead, it uses laser lights, which are blue, green, and infrared lasers. In color fundus photography, we use flash camera and the images are acquired. Wherever in multicolor imaging or any pseudocolor imaging, we use the confocal scanning laser ophthalmoscope to image different layers of the retina. And what sort of disadvantage which we have in multicolor imaging is that it doesn't give us a real color of the fundus. Rather, it gives a color coded image, which is which can be said as a disadvantage. But we will come to know after the end of this session that it is the actually advantage that we get different color codings. So what advantage others we have in multicolor is that in normal color fundus photography, we do not have any topographic information. We just get a 2D, two-dimensional fundus photo. However, in multicolor imaging, by the virtue of using three different lights, we get a topographical information which layer is thicker or thinner, and it also gives us elevation or information about the retinal elevation or depression. So how does a multicolor image look like? Basically, as I said earlier, we use three laser channels, blue, green, and infrared channels. So we get three images. The individual images are called reflectance image. The image which is obtained by blue laser is called blue reflectance, which is obtained by green, and infrared are called green reflectance. So for the sake of understanding, I have marked those images with square of that particular color. And if we combine these reflectance or laser channel images, then what we get is a multicolor image. So there are four things: the three reflectance images, and one combination of all these is composite or multicolor image. So how do we interpret it? Blue reflectance is basically the shortest wavelength, and it is used for the things which are on the surface, the vitreoretinal interface and inner retina. Green reflectance has longer wavelength, and it is meant to image inner and mid layers of the retina. And infrared reflectance, being the longest wavelength of laser, it images the outer retina and choroid. So this is how we use these laser channels. And as we have hyperfluorescence and hypofluorescence in fluorescein angiography, similarly we have here two things: greenish hue and orange red hue. Greenish hue means anything which is elevated or thick it appears as greenish. Anything which is depressed or thin does appear as orange red in color. So with this background, we will see how multicolor image helps us in diagnosing inner retinal pathologies. So to begin with, this is a picture of color fundus and multicolor image of a patient of asteroid halosis. So in the color fundus picture, we can see clearly that the asteroid halosis is casting a obstruction in the view, and we hardly can get any information on the color fundus photography. Whereas multicolor image, it doesn't use bright flashlight, so it doesn't get reflected back from the asteroid crystals, and we can very well get a clear fundus picture even in a dense asteroid halosis eye. So this is a very important use of multicolor imaging in patients who have asteroid halosis. We are hardly getting anything to see, and we can very well see everything because of the virtue of using laser light, that it doesn't get reflected and it gives us a clear picture of the fundus. Similarly, another patient Having asteroid halosis, dense asteroid halosis, nothing is visible. Again, multicolor image gives us a clear picture of the fundus. We can see that where are the hemorrhages and hard exudates in this patient of diabetic retinopathy. So whenever we have asteroid halosis, we can obtain a multicolor image and it will give us a clear picture. Going little deeper on the superficial retinal structures or inner retinal structures, here we see a right eye of a patient who has some laser scars, and we can hardly see some old hard exudates, and that's it. But OCT shows that there is an ERM there, and this ERM is barely seen on the color fundus photography, and we have to rely on the OCT. Again, if we do a multicolor image, then we can see a greenish sheen on the surface of the retina, and that demarcates the areas of uh, epiretinal membrane. So since greenish hue is superficial, epiretinal membrane is superficial, so any abnormality on the surface will appear as greenish hue. And since the laser channel which is responsible for imaging the superficial structures are superficial thing is blue, so epiretinal membrane is clearly seen on the blue reflectance image, which is marked by the blue square on the outside. And if you see the green and infrared reflectance, it is still little bit seen on the green reflectance, but it is not seen on the infrared reflectance. So we need to know on which reflectance channel we should see which structure. Epiretinal membrane being superficial, so it is more obviously seen on the blue reflectance image alongside the composite multicolor image. Similarly, this patient of macular edema because of diabetic retinopathy, if you see the fundus photograph, we can see hemorrhages, hard exudates, and retinal hemorrhages. But macular edema is not that obviously seen, which macular edema can be obtained or can be imaged with the help of OCT. However, as we know that diabetic retinopathy is becoming more screening based on the color fundus photographs. So color fundus photograph doesn't give information about the macular edema that much here. If we see the multicolor image of this eye, we see that the macular edema is very nicely depicted by the greenish hue in the center of the macula. And it is just a matter of thought that if we could use multicolor imaging rather than color fundus photography for mass diabetic screening, then probably we'll be able to pick up lot more macular edema patients even without doing OCT. That can be a mass utility of multicolor imaging here. Similarly, this patient has macular edema and cystoid macular edema also, which is seen on the OCT. Again, color fundus picture doesn't give that much of information. However, we can clearly see the petaloid appearance of the cystoid spaces or the fovea, which is seen as the reddish orange petaloid structure at the center of the fovea. And rest of the macula is greenish because of the thickness, and the cysts are seen as in orange-red color. So both normal thickness, macular edema and cystoid macular edema appear very distinctly on the multicolor image. So this was the utility of multicolor in diabetic retinopathy. Going to another structures of the involving the inner retina and retinal thickness. This is a patient of optic disc pit maculopathy. We can see here that OCT is nicely showing retinoschisis and subretinal fluid at the center of the macula. And color fundus photo does show some thickness, but it doesn't give us any idea that what could be the cause of this thickness at the fovea. So if we do a multicolor image here, we can see that the obviously fovea is thickened, which was seen on the color fundus photo also, but the thickness is extending from the fovea and going towards the arcades and on the papilomacular bundle and pointing towards the disc. So it gives us further clue that probably this thickness is because of the optic disc with maculopathy. And if one could see the optic disc a little minutely, we will be able to see that the color fundus photo doesn't give us any clue about the possibility of an optic disc pit here, whereas the multicolor image shows that the central cup of the disc is showing a blackish discoloration in the inferotemporal margin of the neuroretinal rim. So that is the site of the pit. So optic disc pit maculopathy, when many times the pit is occult, and multicolor image can help us in identifying these occult optic disc pits also. Probably the last slide which I'm sharing is regarding the inner retinal images is a paracentral acute middle maculopathy. This is a ischemic change in the inner nuclear layer, and we can see in the color fundus photo a patch of yellowish, whitish yellow color near the fovea in the nasal part of the fovea, whereas multicolor image rather delimits or delineates this paracentral acute middle maculopathy nicely by giving it a greenish hue. This greenish hue again is because that area is thickened. So anything which is thickened gives us a greenish hue. If we do an OCT and infrared reflectance image, then we can see the further classical pictures. Here the infrared reflectance is dark. Why it is dark? Because the PAM lesion is present in the inner retinal layers, inner nuclear layer, and it is a thickening, and it is casting a shadow. So that's why the reflectance from the infrared channel has been masked by the thickening of the inner nuclear layer and hyperreflectivity of the inner nuclear layer, and that's why reflectivity is blocked. So this blocked reflectivity from the inner infrared channel is a characteristic, and we say that PAM is characterized by hyporeflectivity on the infrared image. That's how it looks like, and obviously OCT shows the thickening of the inner nuclear layer and this. So these are the pathologies of the inner nuclear layer where we found that multicolor image gives additional information which is not easily discernible on the color fundus photography. And many times, even without doing an OCT, we can get a clue that what we are going to find on OCT. And to that, as I said earlier, probably if the imaging technique can be incorporated in diabetic retinopathy screening, then probably many macular edema patients' eyes will be easily picked up and rather not even require a referral or consultation at the clinic. Thank you very much. So this was about the inner retinal pathologies, which we deal with the multicolor imaging.